Welcome back, brothers, to yet another episode here on the Oshay Vlogcast. This is the fourth Bruvcast episode here with my black brothers here from the United Kingdom. All of these brothers are hailing from the great city of London in the United Kingdom. And, you know, a lot of people have been wanting us to bring them back. They are now back. We actually have a new person today, and we'll let him introduce himself. And then my brother Marlon is going to go ahead and join us at some point. Now, Falcon MGTOW Blizzak is at a karate tournament. Taekwondo tournament. He is putting niggas in chokeholds and shit and breaking people's elbows, so he will not be able to make it today. But today's topic is going to be a very interesting one, and it's dealing with this whole idea of the establishing the British identity. Am I Nigerian, Caribbean, or Black British? And actually, this was inspired by Falcon Black, and the reason is because unlike our brothers in Britain, as African Americans, we have a national kind of identity. We have a national struggle, national history. We have our own kind of lingo. You know, if you go to church, we have certain sounds of music, certain lingo, certain talking points that we all have as Black people in America. But in Britain, you know, there are many different factions of Blacks that are there. Nigerians, different Africans. One of the brothers is Tanzanian. So there isn't a national kind of like, British Black identity. And we want to talk about that. Let me go ahead and introduce the brothers today. Let's start off with sports and philosophy. Let everybody know what's going on with you, man, where you're from and all that shit. Player.
Yeah, man, it's so good, man. Yeah, I'm sports and philosophy. I'm from West London. And yeah, I'm just new to the podcast. I watched the last podcast and I was just yeah, man, I really relate to the topic, and I was like, yeah, my piece.
All right, man. Well, welcome in to the show, and then let's go to my boy, the Senator of Truth. Let everybody know what's going on with your pimping.
Yeah, what's good, everyone? As you can see, I am here. The reason why, obviously, the camera, you see me in a different angle today, is because I just got my legs up. Had a very long football session yesterday and my legs are swollen, so I'm gonna be like this for the 2 hours. So what's good?
All right. And brother King Richez, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? King Richez, obviously, man. Come on, you know what it is, man. Let's get it.
You know what time it is. All right, let's kind of start off, man, with the whole idea. We're gonna start off with King Richez, man. You are actually from Nigerian heritage, so let's kind of speak to this whole idea. What, as far as the different ideologies, and you actually did live in the United States, but let's talk about the lack of Black British identity, if you will, and kind of weigh in on it and get it started.
Yeah, from the last podcast, this had me thinking a lot about this very topic. And I agree with what you said and what Falcon Black said last week, because really and truly, as Black people in the UK, we don't have a collective identity because everybody is coming from some different part of the world, And because of that, there's a lot of tribalism in the UK. It has kind of decreased in recent years, and from what I've seen since being back, I've seen it kind of decrease. But when I was a lot younger and I was, growing up in London, there was a lot of tribalism. Now we did interact with each other, and we did have that kind of black umbrella, but at the same time there was still that, oh, you're an Af, or you're a Jamo, as in an Af being an African, a Jamo being a Jamaican. Yeah. And there was a lot of teasing each other. And let's be real, if we be real about it, it was Africans that used to get teased the most by Caribbeans. And from what where I grew up anyway, in South London. So there was a lot of tribalism, but as of now I think it's lowered quite a bit because everyone's kind of mixing up. But if you kind of talk to the older generations, I think they still kind of hold a little bit of resentment against other people from different countries, which is just ridiculous because at the end of the day, non-Black people see us as all the same. Do you know what I mean? You're Black, you're Black. So,
yeah.
But as I said initially, we don't really have a unified identity of, we're Black British, in comparison to African Americans, because it's true. Like you lot in America, you lot all kind of just are under one umbrella, and that's it. Like nobody's really like, oh yeah, well my ancestors come from here. No one's saying anything like that. And when I think about it now, that's actually doing you lot more of a benefit while you're in America in a way. You know what I mean? Because it keeps you kind of unified in a way, whereas over here we're not as unified because we're all from different places. You know what I mean? Different cultures. But yeah, that's what my first take on that.
Okay, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and bring in Brother Marlon. Just joined us. What's going on, Brother Marlon?
What's up, you Oshay? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Were you able to get familiar with the topic today that we have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your thoughts on this whole thing?
Basically, it's the same as what King Richez said. I think a lot of people came here and they literally just kept to themselves. They kept their own cultures. So in the beginning, there was no mixing of cultures. There was no mixing of marriage. There was no mixing of, just the social issues. You understand? So what happened over time is everyone just forged their own identity or brought the identity they had from other places. Do you understand? But nowadays, I think it's getting better, though. I think it is getting better. I think it's like what King Richez said. The older generation, they still have that in them, but it's getting better. But will there ever be a collective identity? I don't think there will be.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Eric P. Shout out to the English national team. Best of luck Tuesday against Colombia. Shout out to my brother Richard Dude. Sounds like Toronto. Let's go ahead and talk to my brother Senator Truth.
Hello, what's good?
What's your whole interpretation of this player?
Pretty much what King Richez said, because we come from different parts of the globe. What tends to happen is, even though we're all black, like it's still hard to relate or basically identify with each other. And the obvious way you can kind of notice that is in London. There's like different areas of London where there's like, say for example, in a certain part of London, you'll have like a black African borough, if you catch what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And then say for example, you go to a different part of London, then there's a black Caribbean type thing. Or sometimes in Brixton, there's a mix of the two, but that's what tends to really happen. So it's not a divide, it's just everyone's separated with different cultures and that. So that's what I could really say about that.
Okay. And sports and philosophy, man, what do you kind of feel? Because you're from Tanzania originally. What's your thoughts about this?
Yeah. I would say the main.
He's on a bad line.
Phone's breaking up.
For example, people ask you, where you from? If you say, like a lot of African people would be say, I'm from like Jamaica or from Barbados. So, but I think now with like a lot more acceptance of African culture, like Afrobeat and like even like what you guys call in America, like soccer, with soccer players, like people like Paul Pogba, part of the African culture. I think it's like a lot more prevalent. But I think there's still that kind of, like people are a bit shameful of like, I'm from Ghana, I'm from this, I'm from that. So I think right now.
Okay, you got that Negro wireless.
I was gonna say like his shit is a bit unclear.
Yeah, it sounds like
All right. Can you let him in now?
Yeah.
We can hear like goes in and out kind of like and breaks up a lot.
Player, what's going on? You got that slavery wireless, player.
Nah. Let me try again. Just to let me know if I'm clear on the line. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying that basically.
Jim Crow wireless.
Oh shit!
like I was saying like a yeah, and there's like a soccer player called Paul Pogba, who plays for the France national team. So like I think having people like that in the public eye makes people a lot more heritage. Is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, bro, that connection's mad, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like maybe try to leave and come back, player, because It's cutting off.
Is it cutting off again? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, but try to leave and come back.
Yeah, reset your connection or
All
something.
right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll leave this channel and then come back. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
No
It was
worries,
doing
man.
cool, man, until he went live, man. And then all of a sudden, the white man started, oppressing his podcast, brother. You know what I mean? I think we need to get the Nation of Islam, man, to stop the white man from putting the foot on his neck, player. Okay, so let me kind of do this. Okay, we got a little bit of low numbers, all right, because we got 43 watching. Damn, I guess we got to put big booties and titties in the title to get y'all niggas to watch. So that's all right. The real fans gonna watch today. Like the video, still brothers. We gonna still rock this show. We don't give a fuck who watching. Let me talk about this. Let me start back with King Richez. When you say African Americans are unified, because if you ask one of us, we're gonna be like, nigga, we ain't unified for shit. Like, we stay killing each other, talking shit about each other. You know what I mean? So, but I guess what I want to know is when you look at the African American black group and compare it to the British black group, what are some things that you see African Americans doing well that British blacks in Britain don't do well?
I wouldn't say in terms of African Americans doing well in comparison to blacks in Britain. As a
more unified group. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. As a unified group, I mean, like for instance, it's like what the other guy said. People ask you where you're from. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a big thing because, like, let's even talk about dating. Like, some girls, if you tell them that you're African, they won't want to date you. There's girls, black girls, Caribbean or whatever, or from the Caribbean heritage, and they won't want to date a guy that's you're Nigerian or whatever. Like, what I mean? There's those kind of prejudices there. I've experienced it, and a lot of my friends have experienced that too. And like even like some of my friends that are pretty boys who have moved to girls and girls will be like, there's no way you can be African. There's no way. I don't believe it. And you'd be like, what do you mean? Like, there's no way. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, let me not go off topic. I just think that you African Americans, you have the umbrella of being African American. Do you know what I mean? And what I've noticed a lot is that a lot of you guys are very patriotic to that concept. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? There are a lot of African Americans that are not really inclined to want to know where their ancestry come from because they feel I'm American, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Most black people in England, in my opinion, don't have that kind of patriotism to being a black British person. Like even the guys that probably call themselves black British, they still have their own culture in the back of their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. So that's why I say it's to you, the African Americans' advantage that you lot are kind of unified, as in we are African Americans. Mm-hmm. Fuck the rest of you lot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of works in a way. Like, you know what I mean? So one of my teammates, he always used to say this. He used to say it as a joke, but it used to be like kind of fucked up that he used to say this. He used to say, "God bless America and nobody else."
Wow.
When he said that, what did you think about that? Was he white or black?
No, he was black. But and then like he edited his joke to God bless America and King Rich's family as well, and that's it. Yeah, and that is, I'm not joking. This is one of my best friends in America as well. So you know what I mean. But yeah, like the way it didn't really make me feel bad because I knew the guy. I knew he wasn't a malicious. He's not a malicious guy. He didn't have like an extreme prejudice. I mean, he was my friend. You know, I went to stay with him and his family over Thanksgiving and all of that. But what I'm saying is because you lot have that kind of collective mind that we're American, we're African Americans, our history is XYZ. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody knows that, yeah, the slaves came from Africa, but at the end of the day, that's distant. Like, you know what I mean? It's so distant that it's kind of irrelevant to a lot of African Americans. It's irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? So
I disagree with you.
Okay, hold on. Well, before you disagree, let me do this one real quick. Let me shout out to Ray Nice, man, 99.99. O'Shea let me get a bundle of collard green sandwiches with a Pepsi Cola and honey bun on the side. Nigga, you will get instant diabetes and die if you eat that shit. Y'all have honey buns? Do y'all have honey buns in Britain?
No, I don't think we do.
Y'all niggas better hope y'all never get the motherfuckers. Y'all will. I'm telling you, diabetes.
Hey, that shit is addictive, man. Them
you
honey
had one
buns.
before? I know you had one before, huh? Honey buns?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
The hostess ones, some motherfuckers. Oh, they be so glazed, it just be so sticky all on your fingers. Okay,
They only 50 cents, man. I mean, shit. You get, bro. You just
don't get them little Debbie's, them little Debbie snacks, honey buns. They get them a box of 8.
Oh yeah. That's straight diabetes straight away.
Straight up, nigga. That's why I'm like, shout out to my brother Rain Nice, man. He always supporting, man, all the time. Thank you so much, brother. What was your disagreement, brother Marlon?
Basically the concept of African American, being like a unit or just like together. I think basically after slavery, you lot had to grow up or come up in the same country that enslaved you. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the country has always been against African Americans in some way, shape, or form. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So because you lot were in that situation, I think different groups of African Americans are always trying to find different ways how to either come up or assimilate or to forge their own group. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that led to many, many things. Yeah. But ultimately, there was one thing you couldn't go back to, and that is something to call your own. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what I think you lot done, or some of you lot done, is you lot actually said, okay, we're going to become Americans. Yeah. But the problem with that is you are Americans, but the America that you lot ascribe to, or the culture that you ascribe to, doesn't necessarily ascribe to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So when you try and function within that society now, you're gonna get stuck and you're gonna get lost. Do you understand? Because it was not for you in the first place. Do you understand? So that breeds so many different groups, factions, ideologies, and there's no way that there's gonna be any unity from that. Do you understand? There's hood culture, there's bourgeoisie culture, there's so many different cultures now amongst the African Americans. I perceive. I don't think we really disagree, because I agree with what you're saying, innit?
But it's just that what I'm saying is that, like, just the fact that they call themselves African. I mean, how many, bruh, all my friends, and I know a lot of fucking people, bruh, I've not come across any of my friends say, "Oh, I'm Black British." No.
Yeah.
True.
No,
True. Very true.
Yeah, but a title.
But the hood niggas in America, they'll say I'm African American.
Yeah, but
the high class niggas in America,
they have
I'm
nothing
African.
else to say. They have nothing else to say. Do you understand? At the end of the day, you could bring about words, but words have to bring about actions as well. So they could be African American in words and in spirit, but when the actions come out, it's like a lot of them are against each other. Do you understand? They're not actually living up to what an African American should be, and that was, in my mind, what is it, O'Shea? When you lot got your, not freedom, but civil rights, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when you lot are building your own shit, to me, that is African American. Do you understand? And that is unity. But now everyone's got some type of freedom. You're still by name African Americans, but everyone's gone off and done their own thing. There's nothing solidifying you guys together. That's where my disagreement was, King Richez.
Well, like, yeah, in terms of that, I do agree somewhat. Like, I'm just saying that, like, they have the umbrella of being able to call themselves one collective thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we don't really do that. We're kind of divided in, even if it's just in words, in classifying each other. Everyone's got their own classification. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I was born, raised in England, most people will classify me as English. Now, there's some people here in England that will say I'm Nigerian. Some people in America would say I'm Nigerian. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if it was an American guy, if it was an American, but that's the thing. Like, why do you class me as a Nigerian, though? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying what makes you class me that.
Okay, I would
Okay,
class you as a Nigerian.
Because if I went to Nigeria, they'll call me English and they'll call me a white boy, bro.
No, good point. Let me do this. After Marlon response, and Marlon, by the way, people already know your voice, so they're saying good points, Marlon, so they already know who you are now by your voice. We're gonna go back to King Richez, and then we're gonna get the other guys involved in it. So go ahead, Marlon, and respond to King Richez, and go ahead.
Yeah, the reason why I call you Nigerian, because obviously that's your heritage. You know, you didn't have to come up like the African Americans did in the Americas. Do you understand? And you know, you lot came here with your culture, yeah, and you have a strong, rich culture. Likewise, I'm Jamaican. Do you understand? So I, like Oshay and the other guys, I'm from the Americas as well. Do you understand? But I was born here, yeah. So my family came here. Yeah, they established themselves and they established their own community. I'm a part of that community and I'm a part of that culture. Therefore, I class myself as a Jamaican. Do you understand? Because that's what I follow. Do you understand? We have nothing to do with this country in the same way as African Americans have to do with America. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not the same thing. They, you know, they like literally, if the African Americans became stateless, they will have they would have to go into the sea somewhere, bro. They have nowhere to go, bro. Literally, like with us, you could say, you know what, boom, I'm getting on the plane back to Nigeria. I could say, you know what, I'm going to Jamaica. We all got our places we could go to, and when we go there, we're seeing black faces, bro.
Yeah.
And do you see it? Them people, bro, they end up dying of stress, bro. They can't go nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Point, man.
So that is why I say, fundamentally, that is what we are, and that is the culture that we can keep. Yeah, and that is a culture that spans back, if not hundreds of years, in terms.
Yeah,
of
but like
I got hold on a second. Hold on, we got to be fair to other people on the thing. I'm gonna come back to you real quick, brother. Hold that thought. Let me get Senator Truth and the other brother involved, and we're gonna come right back. Go ahead, Senator Truth. Anything you want to weigh in on this particular part?
Nothing really. Like, I'm just listening. Like, obviously, I agree with what Marlon and King Richez is saying. I can't really disagree with both of them. So that's really about it, really.
Okay. Let's go to sports and philosophy.
Yes, yeah. I think some very good points were mentioned, especially what Marlon said about kind of how African Americans, they don't really have no home to go back to. But that's because if you look at their history, it's like the way they've been raised, all they know is America. So, for example, you can be black and born in America, your parents are from America, your grandparents are born in America, and your great and so on and so forth. When in England, it's like you're from Jamaica, you move to England. You're from Ghana, you move to England. There is no like, oh, my mom and dad are both born in England, my grandparents are English, my great, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the reason why people in the UK, they kind of have that more of a connection with back home. But at the same time, I see what King Richez is saying. Well, I'm born in this country, why am I not considered British? Like, even myself, because where I work is like, you know, when people just want to make small talk, yeah, they're just like, oh, where you from? I say, I'm from the UK, but they look at me, no, where are you from? I say, I'm originally from Tanzania, but I'm born in the UK. So it's a bit of one of those things, you know what I mean? It's like, because me, I know I'm born here, I know I'm British, but it's like, there's still that stigma of, oh, you're black, so you can't really be from the UK. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's a bit frustrating, because it's like, I understand my heritage, but it's like, yo, I'm born here. Why can't people accept me like for being British? But because I'm black, I'm not quote unquote British. But I was saying to one of my boys there, unless you kind of make it big, like an Anthony Joshua, people are like, oh, that guy is British. But if Anthony Joshua's doing a madness,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
If Anthony Joshua was out here stabbing people doing a madness, oh, he's one of them Caribbean or African thugs. Do you know what I mean? But because he's, you know, Mr. Heavyweight champion, we love him. For example, the World Cup, yeah. Look at all this crap they're talking about Raheem Sterling. Oh, he's a bad boy, he's a gangster. I'm telling you, if Raheem Sterling wins the World Cup for England, people are gonna kiss his ass all day, bro.
Exactly. Yep. Because let me add on to this, you know, if that's possible, I can do. All right. You know, he made a very good point, right? Because I was following Anthony Joshua since the Olympic days, when I didn't even find out that he was like famous, right? Because I was really into the Olympics, and now I'm not, because of certain things they want to add into the Olympics. Is the funny thing about Anthony Joshua, right? If anyone knows about the great rivalry between Dylan White and Anthony Joshua, and this is actually to do with race here, yeah. If you actually look at what Dylan White says, yeah, he said, you know, Anthony Joshua's real name is called Femi, and he's a Nigerian. I don't know if you ever heard of Dylan White ever say that in some of the interviews whenever he was going to fight Anthony Joshua or in the past, because they had a rivalry. So it's very true what Sports and Philosophy is saying, is if you're a black man and you do something bad, all of a sudden you're not considered British, you're considered the origin of where your family comes from. All right? Now, you know, the funny thing is, you know, when he was talking about the Raheem Sterling problem, right? Is if you look at the if you look at like some of the comments that is said on social media, when he had the gun tattoo on his ankle and everyone was having a go at Raheem Sterling and all this nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Is if you look, they say, oh, he's just a Jamaican. But I know he's born in Jamaica. I know he was born, remember, he was born in Jamaica, but they call him a Jamaican, right? But now he's playing for England and he won the championship with Man City. They now call him an Englishman. But when he was born in Jamaica. He wasn't born in England. He came at a very
young age. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Came over to England. That's the thing, because I'll tell you something about this, right? And this is not just it's not a British thing. It's a European thing, yeah? Say, for example, you ever see that that immigrant that saved that child that was hanging from the balcony?
Yeah, in France.
In France, right? Or why is it that, okay, so you're telling me he's no longer a citizen? He's no longer a citizen in France until he actually saved that baby.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was clocking onto that.
Yeah.
Oh, all of a sudden, he's now French now. All of a sudden, he's going to go and meet the prime minister and all this, right?
That's what I'm saying.
This is the thing.
I just see it as his application getting expedited. That's all.
Pretty much.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but
go on.
The way, okay, let me ask you a question. Yeah, just quickly going back to my point, very quickly.
Yeah.
What I was saying before is, we're coming to these countries with sometimes hundreds, in regards to the Caribbean, or thousands of years of history regarding Africans, where and we came with it, whereas the African Americans had to make it. Do you understand? So they're manufacturing something new. But let me ask all of you guys a question. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of you are born in the UK. Some of you aren't. If you had children in this country, you would class them as British, right? And they could go around and call themselves British. Okay. Yep. What would happen if you went to India and you had a child there? Would you call that child Indian?
No.
Yes.
Why not?
No.
Why?
Because that's not the origin of where he came from.
And it's not the origin of where we come from either. So what's the difference?
No,
I know, but go. Go on.
Yeah. If that was me, I'll call my child Indian, because it's like, all right, fair enough, you can say, because look, I'm born in the UK, right? But my origin from Tanzania. But if I have a kid in India, yes, I will teach him his roots. But at the end of the day, the kid is born in India, so he's Indian, fam. You know what I mean?
He's Indian, yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
I wouldn't say
man.
And should I tell you,
black Indian.
Can I
That's a negative, bro.
Bro, you never seen black? Bro, watch documentaries on YouTube. Do you know there's been black Indians, like proper, like African Indians, like born in India, bro?
Yeah, I know. They're on a southern island, and the Indian government protects them now. I know that. Yeah. But it was just thought for the mind, you know. Like, you know, if likewise, if you're born in Saudi Arabia, would you call yourself Saudi Arabian? Would you call yourself Somalian? Would you call yourself
like? Could you see that as in citizenship? You could be like, citizenship, but really though, are you really though? Like,
so what makes it different with this country then?
But why not? But why not? Is it because that's the thing that we're doing now? It's like it's about the stereotype of you know, if you are Saudi, you have to be tan looking, or if you are African, you have to be black. You know what I mean? So I think it's more of a psychological thing.
No, it's more of a like heritage thing. It's more of a heritage and legacy thing.
I get you, but listen,
where does your heritage
even in Saudi, you got black people as well. So it's like, fair enough. Okay,
no, but can be. For example, if you went there and your child was born there, would it be Indian? That's what we're saying. That's the example we're using. So, if we look at it from that specific example,
and
about heritage, I mean, what? He's the beginning of that heritage, if anything. Okay. So could you call him Indian? Yeah, I guess you could, but heritage-wise, no.
Okay, so what would it be classified as then? Because then it's like, because that leaves you in a weird space. It's like you don't know who you are. Like, what am I? Am I Indian? Am I this? Am I that? It's
the culture of the parents.
Let me weigh in on this real quick. Just very briefly. All right, I had a guy here named Randy Flagg from the United States. His name is Winner Lao Wai in China. He had a baby by a Chinese woman. The baby's black and Chinese, right? Chinese will not give the baby citizenship. I think what we're also looking at is, what does the country consider you? Because in homogeneous populations like India, let's compare it to the United States. We are a melting pot. Our culture is, we have people who are citizens who are black. We have people who are citizens who are Chinese. We have people who are citizens that are, whatever, right? The same thing is France. You can find black French, and those are open societies. Britain is also like that, right? So, but some countries like India or China, they are not receptive to that also. So what the country considers to be a part of that core group is also important, because you can have a baby in China, but that doesn't mean that the China worker is going to accept you. In fact,
exactly.
They won't. And that's the same thing with India. So I think you got to also look at, what does the country consider a part of their population? Every country operates different. You understand what I'm saying? So what is the cultural norm of that country? I think India was, in a way, it could be a bad example of a country.
Yeah, let me
not really.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, King Richez. We'll go to
what if you was to, all right, let's go back to that. You had the baby in India, and then say your family moved while the baby was like 2 years old. You went to another country. What, is the baby still Indian? No, it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just what I think about that. I just don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think it's enough. Like,
but
especially like what Oshay said, in those kind of countries as well.
Yeah,
bruh, that's reaching, bruh.
Yeah, but can I just add on to what King Richez was saying about, like, okay, if you're born in India,
go to the Marlon, and then, because we got to get some order on the podcast. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Make your point.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to add on to what King Richez was saying. For example, like, if you're a baby and you're 2 years old and then you move abroad, but I want your perspective on. Do you know the footballer Mario Balotelli?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
would you consider him Ghanaian or Italian? Because that similar situation, he was born in Ghana, but he moved. I'm not sure he was born in Ghana, Italy, but point being, he's like, he lived in Italy when he was very young, and he's kind of brought up Italian. So would you consider him Ghanaian or Italian?
Ghanaian.
What's his parents?
Even though
his parents from? Where's his parents from?
His parents are from Ghana, but I'm saying, would you consider Balotelli Italian or Ghanaian?
No. What is his parents though?
They're from Ghana, innit?
Then his heritage comes from Ghana. Like, it's very simple, bro. Do you know what I mean? His DNA, he's if he does an ancestry.com test, he's gonna come from Ghana. He's not gonna come from Italy. He just was there in body, but his heritage, his bloodline comes from there.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't think environment really makes the point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or let me do this real quick. Let me guys, we have 85 people watching. Shout out to a few brothers that supported us on the super chat. I thank you guys so much. We got Wake the Hell Up. Word up, Oshay, and the brethren on the panel. Learn who you are by studying your culture while staying on the purpose. Here's a tip for the collard green. Shout out to him. Brother JL King, thank you so much. America sees me as just black, but I identify as Caribbean American. Big up your heritage. Shout out to my brother, man. He's always supporting the show and supporting the stream. They're actually a lot more than like the so-called African-American brothers, man. So, I'm just saying, get the likes up. Let me ask you this real quick. We'll start off with King Richez this time. Actually, Senator Truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I hear, right? Because I have some friends from, Nigeria, and they might be like first generation born American or something like that. you know, they may say I'm Nigerian American, right? And I've got it back and forth. You know, I'm a native born African American. You guys know how I am. I'm a really like hardcore African American, and like, you know, with black immigrants, it could be, you know what I'm saying. Me and King Richez have had our little, you know, spew about that, but it get personal. But what they have told me at the end of the day is, while they may claim Nigerian American, number one, I found out is that like the Nigerian Americans, when they're in the United States, if they don't assimilate into having African American friends, they're fucked. And number two, when they go back to their home country, they're not considered really a part of the core group. So when you claim Nigerian American or Caribbean, or let's say Nigerian British or Caribbean British, or whatever you want to say, and you have a westernized culture, you've been born British and raised British. When you go back to these places, even though your family comes from there, do these people accept you as one of their own? Let's talk about that real quick. We'll start off with Senator Truth.
Of course, actually, that's subjective. Because, well, I only can speak on my experience. Other people who came from England over there, and I would accept, as in the Caribbean, I would say they accept. Say, for example, I came from Britain, and I came over to, you know, the origin of my parents. Yeah, of course, they would accept me, you know, as them. But sometimes they'll tell you about your culture, and I ain't got no, really ain't have no problem when I go to a country, for example, if it's Grenada or if it's Trinidad, because my dad come from Grenada and my mother come from Trinidad. And obviously I speak to people outside of the family. Yeah, they do generally accept me as their own. You know, sometimes they use the term family or whatever, even though I'm not blood. But yeah, that's what tends to happen. But I don't know what that's like for, say, for a Nigerian or someone in the African, you know, black sector of things. I don't know if it's different there. You know, because I know King Richez, what he was saying, that if he went over to Nigeria, they'll call him a white boy, or they won't accept him as an own, they'll just call him a British man or something like that. But when you're in the Caribbean, that doesn't seem to be the case, because it's not just me. I've seen a lot of documentaries where there's like British Caribbean actors going off to their so-called home countries, and there's documentaries, and you can see how the people are taken to them and really see them as their own. For example, there's many times where, say, for example, I go there, even though they know I'm from the UK, they give me a mango, give me whatever, invite me over, like, you know, typical Caribbean stuff, over for a meal or whatever, or we just play dominoes or things like that. So that's really what I could really say about that.
Okay. Let's go to Marlon. Okay, Marlon, where's your family from originally, by the way?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been back to Jamaica?
I haven't. No, unfortunately. No.
Okay. What do you think? Like, if you were to go back to Jamaica and show up, what do people take you as?
They would accept me as Jamaican. You know, and the reason why I know that, because, you know, even with my family here who are fresh from Jamaica, if you tell them you're British, they'll cuss you. They'll actually cuss you. You know what I mean? Like you're Jamaican. You know what I mean? You know, this is something that I've seen with a lot of Jamaican people. Do you understand? You can't tell them you're British. They'll either cuss you or they'll laugh at you. Like, you don't know where you're from. You don't know nothing. What are you talking about? You're British. You know what I mean? This is the type of attitude that we have. I know it's different with Africa. I don't know why, and I don't want to speculate or give conjecture or whatever, but you know, with us Caribbeans, it's like that. It's easier for us to re-assimilate back into our intrinsic culture.
Okay. Let's go to King Richez. King Richez, what's your thoughts on this?
Like, when I said that, you know, they would say that I'm a white boy or something, it's not even out of like that they would hate me. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that they wouldn't. It wouldn't be like I'm what. I don't think they would accept me as one of them 100%. Like, they will understand that, boom, my parents are, Nigerian, but just like what Oshay was saying, you've been brought up in a Western culture. Everything I do, the way I speak, the way I act, the way I think is westernized. There's going to be things that I don't understand what they do. Do you know what I mean? Customs, the ways they think and the way they act, I won't understand, and vice versa. So that will already be an obstacle in them accepting me 100%. Do you know what I mean? And it's not necessarily them being mean or, you know, oh, we hate him. It's not that, but it's just that's the fact. I mean, I've got friends here that are you know, Nigerian, yeah, but they were born in Nigeria and they probably came here at, you know, X age or whatever, yeah. And when I talk to them, you know, obviously we're all Nigerian, but then there'll be certain times where the joke is like, oh, yeah, well, Mike's British anyway, he don't understand what we're saying. Or sometimes they'll be speaking and I don't understand what they're saying, bro. Do you know what I mean? And that's a big barrier, like, do you know what I mean? Like, especially if I go back to my parents' country and they're all speaking native languages that I don't understand. That's a big obstacle. Do you know what I mean? And that's the biggest, and that's not just the only one. There's a lot. It's just cultural differences. Do you know what I mean? Now that wouldn't stop me from going there, but I'm not stupid or naive to the fact that boom, yeah, I grew up completely different to them. And a lot of times in Africa, their perception of, you know, England and America is that the streets are paved with gold.
Hello.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
If this is another big obstacle. So if I was to go over there, they're expecting me to be fucking 50 Cent, blood. You know what I mean? Like, they expecting me to fucking have just money raining out of my pockets. Like, do you know what I mean? Because their whole perception is warped. You know what I mean? Then, like, obviously their poverty and our poverty is two different levels, isn't it?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But like, obviously, bro, they're gonna be looking at me like, raw, he's made it. He's from England. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, it's not what you think. But and even you could try and explain it to them, but bro, they ain't gonna really hear that shit.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I got to say on that one.
Okay, let me go to sports and philosophy. What's your take on that, fam?
Yeah, man. King Richez made some very good points, but I would say from my perspective, it's like it's a similar thing as well. It's like I'm not accepted. It's like they'll just see me as, oh, he's the son of, you know, like in Tanzania there's a thing where it's like people will call you by your parents' name. Oh, that's, you know, that's whoever's son. You know what I mean? So they'll still like view me as Tanzanian, but they know, oh, this guy, he's from Europe. Like there's a saying, they say it's better to be a dog in Europe than a human being in Africa.
Why do they say
that? Again, it's the same thing that King Richez was saying about the streets being paved with gold. You know, it's like, yeah, they're like, and they just look at it. Oh, that guy's from Ulaya. Ulaya is like a name for Europe, so it's like that guy's European. So people automatically have that perception that, oh, you're spoiled, or, you know, they don't view you as one of their own. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's also another thing as well. It's like going back to what King Richez was saying about speaking the mother tongue. It's like, for me, I understand Swahili better than speaking it, but again, there's still that stigma of not being able to speak the mother tongue. So it's like they view you as not one of their own, but you're one of their own. If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just, I just chime in on to this point. Like when I go to, like for example, my buddy he's a Yoruba. He speaks it like, you know, fluently. I think that happens is like the guys who are born, like first generation, not the guys who first come, but like, you know, you're born in Britain or the USA. I know when I go to, you know, a certain place, like I just came back from Johannesburg earlier this month. And when there's somebody speaking Zulu, I'm lost. When I go to Uganda speaking, you know, I am black, but it's obviously like I'm out of place, right? I can imagine being like, let's say if I was a South African raised in America, never really went there, and then had to go back and assimilate, it would be very, very hard. You know what I mean? It would be almost impossible to do so under those prejudices. But let me ask you this. This is one thing that I can't stand about certain people in America. I want to ask you guys this, right? A lot of immigrants in America are like always like repping their home country, like always like Ethiopia for life, Mexico for life. And they're hella hardcore but they're in the United States. So I'm like,
why you ain't there?
Yeah. If you are so proud of your country, why are you not there? I mean, this is, and I've gotten to it with so many, immigrants, like that have this issue. I'm going to ask you guys the same thing. Do we have like a lot of Caribbean or like African immigrants, that are just like super hardcore nationalistic, but for whatever reason, they're still in Britain and don't want to go back? Does this situation happen? And are you like befuddled by that by any chance? Let's start with Marlon.
Oh, hell yeah, it happens, of course. Oh man, it's a pet peeve of mine as well. I hate it, and I always go in on them in regards to this. They will be flying their flags. This is our country. I'm saying, look, yeah, this is to a particular group of people. I'm not saying which country it is or which few countries it is, but I will say, look, yeah, your country was in war, for example. That's why you're here. Yeah, why are you acting so arrogant? If you're arrogant, yeah, and you're a man and you're strong and you're, puffing out your chest with pride, shouldn't you be at home spilling your blood for your country? Like, where does all this arrogance come from? Do you feel what I'm saying? It's like pure arrogance, bruv, and it's horrible. Like me, I was married to a Somali, and I'm sure brothers on the panel know how some Somalis could get down when it comes to this type of thing, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them are like that, but we have seen a lot who are like that. Do you understand? And oh my gosh, the names they have for some people. Oh man, it's horrible. Anyway, it's not just them, but I do get into it and I say, look, at the end of the day, yeah, you lot come here, you lot have education, you lot have money. Why are you investing in your country? You know what I mean? Why are you allowing your people to die in the Mediterranean Sea? How does it not move you to tears when you see your own country folk, your own continent folk dying in the sea? You know what I mean? I'm not from Africa. I'm Jamaican. I see Eritreans. I see people from Mali. I see people from West Africa. I see people from South Africa. All these different countries dying in the sea. It moves me to tears. Do you understand? And they're not even my people. You know what I mean? Like, why are people... I'm not saying it don't happen on an individual basis, but why aren't we seeing more, productivity from the Africans and Caribbeans and non-Africans or non-blacks? Why aren't we seeing productivity and building going on in these countries instead of waves and waves and waves of people trying to come here? Then when they come here, they're arrogant. Listen, I agree. The arrogance of the poor man is the most disgusting arrogance that there is. Mm-hmm. If you're rich and arrogant, we can say, you know what, screw them. But when you're poor and arrogant, man, that's a disease, bro. It's disgusting to me, bro. For real. Yeah, I mean, so I really do hate it. I'm with Oshay on this. I hate it so much. You know what I mean? There's no need to be arrogant and fly your flags. I see it as arrogance. Some people see it as love. I see it as arrogance.
Can I add something? Yeah. You know the easiest way when you were talking about the arrogant people that came over from wherever country they come from, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one particular time that happens every 4 years. It's called the World Cup.
All right. Yes. Now,
let me say something. Right. I don't want to throw. I'm not trying to throw King Richez under the bus here. Because he's not. Yeah?
Here we go.
But where is I had some certain Nigerian friends of mine, yeah, who literally act like they're Nigerian, yeah, but they just act like they're like British, like the most British person you could possibly think. So I literally exposed them. All right. There's a TV. Has anyone watched Arsenal Fan TV?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do you know a brother called Kelechi?
Yes, Kelechi, yes.
All right, yeah. So you know about Kelechi, yeah? So I was saying this is, okay, you're so proud about Nigeria. How come you ain't as proud about Nigeria as Kelechi is? And they had no response, all right? Because when you look at Kelechi, yeah, Kelechi, even though he came over to England, yeah, and he was all proud about his country and whatever, he was actually giving back to, or basically like you were saying, Marlon, actually helped to build back in Nigeria, and he's also a doctor, yeah. So I was thinking to myself, why is it that you have all these Nigerians coming out here, all coming in with their Nigerian kits, whatever, yeah, and they're saying Nigeria, and then when the World Cup ends, yeah, they start acting like they're English again. I see this all the time, yeah. And I'm trying to explain to them. So you care so much about Nigeria, but it's only because they're in the World Cup now you care, and now you claim that you're Nigerian. But yeah, you got Kelechi, who is a proud Nigerian, and he's building for what is happening back in Nigeria, sending money, whatever. So when it is a sickness in a way, because they shouldn't be. If things are so bad, why don't you go back to your own country and help? For example, I have one individual who is Palestinian, isn't it? And she's actually going down to Palestine to actually to help the people in Palestine. That's crazy. So, that's how much that person cares about the country. But I don't see it level on these other countries. These other countries that's basically going on in the World Cup. They're claiming something, but yet they're not actually living what they claim.
It exists in their countries, though.
But let me say this, though, man. Hey, let me say this, though, man.
Yeah, go on.
At the end of the day, you don't know what people are doing when you're not looking. So you can't judge someone because they're not coming to you. So, oh, I sent money back to my country, bruv. You can't judge people like that, bruv.
But if you've known them for, and I'm not saying people, I was talking about the individuals I know. So if I've known this person for 5 to 6, 7 years, right?
Yeah, but then that's them people, blood.
I hear you, but that's just what I'm trying to point out.
You can't use those particular friends you have and then say, yeah, Nigerian, kind of say Nigerians are doing, bruh. That's not fair, bro.
No, it's not. But even on my point, I've
flipping given money to charity back to my country, but I didn't go and start telling everyone, I gave back. Bro, that if I have to go and tell people I'm doing that, that's not genuine, bro. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of people that they help their family who they probably not even met. They don't even know like that. They send money back to them, bro. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
we're talking more on a collective basis. Well, that's what I was talking about anyway.
I think it's a bit unfair to single out one country. I think everyone does it. You know what I'm saying? I think everyone does it. Every country does it, but people from all different countries do it, bro.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying it like that. I'm not taking offense or anything. I'm just saying that it's not just Nigerians that do it, bro. Everybody does that, bro. And yeah, you're right. When the World Cup comes around, everyone gets gassed. Yeah, and you're right. A lot of people, including Nigerians, friends I have too. Yeah, when it comes down, they get the Nigerian jersey for World Cup. Yeah, all on Instagram and shit. But then they got their white girlfriend, and real talk, bro. This is real talk. And then they got the white, and I'm like, bro, are you serious? So I'm not totally trying to shut down what you're saying, but I'm saying that everybody does it. Because they've gone. I got friends, bro. I grew up with Caribbeans. I grew up with Ghanaians. I have a lot of them, African American friends, bro. I got friends from every country, bro. And everybody does that shit. Everybody does that shit.
I say it's down to some tribalism as well, because in the Caribbean, for example, if you look at a lot of the Afro-Caribbeans in this country, a lot of them tend to assimilate more into the British culture than Africans do, even though not totally. Yeah, and I think some of that comes because of the tribalism in Africa. So, for example, you lot could be in Africa, any part of Africa, but you'll rep your tribe. You know what I mean? But the minute they come here, they rep the country.
Yeah.
Understand? And the tribe, in some countries, particular, some of the tribalism is very, very nasty. Do you understand? One quick example. I remember, my wife was at the school, and they got the parents together. Yeah, it was some Somali women. Brother, the comments are going to be sick after this. I mentioned Somali now. You know that, bro. Anyway, so Somali women, they got together and they had to pick a leader. Amongst them, to direct the group. Anyway, one woman got picked. The other woman turned around and said, "I am not being led by a woman from this tribe," and she walked off.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it stems from that. So obviously, the way they are with other people, in some way is the same way they are with themselves, but in their country. You see it?
Yeah, the tribalism amongst black people is in general is always strong. You know what I mean? It's always strong, regardless whatever country it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that I just think everyone does it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, did you want to add to that, Sports and Velocity?
Yes, I did. What I wanted to say was just to add on to what Marlon was saying at the beginning about how 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 African or like foreigners, when they come to America or the UK, they rep their country so hard, but they don't do anything back home. But I think what you need to also look at the same time is also the kind of, it's almost like the runaway slave mentality. Is like, yes, I finally made it to Europe, so it's like they're quote unquote in the land of the free, right? But at the same time, they also want to show that, I still know my roots. But I think people get caught up in this kind of, I'm in the UK, I'm a free man. It's like one of my boys is from Congo, innit? And he was telling about how when he came to the UK, like for him this was like heaven for him. You know what I mean? It's like he's going to like Oxford Circus, which is like the equivalent to, like, I don't know, Manhattan or what do you call it, Melrose Avenue, Los Angeles. So for him, it's kind of that mindset of I'm away from the crappy life I was living in it. So for them, they kind of forget their roots. So I think that's where they kind of get caught up in, trying to find the fine line between repping their country and at the same time being British or American.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, neither do it.
But the reason why I don't believe in it is because there's one particular country in Africa. I have to be very careful what I say now. There's one particular country in Africa that had a war. Yeah. I went to that country, and I met people who were involved in that war.
Yeah.
Now, because I saw what was on the ground, and I got to saw a lot of different angles and aspects in that country. When I left that country and I came back to the UK, I could no longer respect men who left that country in that state. Do you understand? Because I as a person who had no connection to the country, I could go there, and where I was staying, it was danger zone basically. Yeah. And so when I came back, I couldn't respect that men that come from that particular country, but then big up that country and then look down on other people because you're not from that country. I couldn't respect it. You know what I mean? So I did. That's why I'm not trying to intellectualize it. You know what I mean? It's just what I saw. You know what I mean? Like people were dying. Like I was there. Just around the corner, there were troops from different countries who were meant to be protecting certain parts of that city. Man, they shot up the bus, bruv. Shot it up, bruv. It looked like the holes all over, bruv. Women and children were in that bus. Yeah, they shot it up. They sprayed it, bruv. Yeah, I mean, and you want to come here and now big up your country and big up your affiliation with that country when you're here getting, this is not a stereotype, but you're here maybe working a minimum wage job or getting welfare or something, and you're not there, bruv. I'm not saying it to show off, bruv. Bruv, let me tell you, see, when it comes to this black thing, bruv, like I would die for this shit, bruv. I'm not joking, bruv. Like I don't respect men who would leave their country in that state, bruv. I don't. Seriously, I don't, bruv. That's why I just cannot get with this whole, this tribalism, and we're proud that no, I'm sorry, I can't get.
So is your gripe more with the people, like, okay, like me, I'm first generation born in England, right? So your gripe is more with not my parents in particular, but my parents who left and came here. Your gripe is with them.
No, my gripe's not with that. Is I mean, everyone's gonna have a certain degree of tribalism or nationalism, that's fine, and I even think some of it is healthy in a way, but at the end of the day, when you leave certain countries in that state, don't get me wrong, some weak men, women, children, they have to leave, but when you're a strong, able-bodied man, and you're leaving countries maybe like Palestine or whatever country you're leaving, and your country's in war, You did not have enough love to pick up arms for your country and defend it, bruv. You were too shook to spill your blood for that country that you claim. But then you're coming over here and trying to look down on man. Are you stupid, bruv? No, bruv, no. It don't go like that in my book, bruv. I'm sorry, bruv. Yeah, I mean, so it's not with your parents' generation or whatever. It's just those people from particular countries that left their country, bruv. It's like fucking me and my wife on the road. Someone trying to harass her and I run away, bruv. But yeah, I say, oh, I'm married to this buff woman. Oh, she's so no, like, bruv, you weren't man enough to defend it. So why are you claiming it?
But bruv, you
can have pride without being arrogant. That's what I think. You can have pride in your country, just like have enough respect that boom, you're in another man's land, innit? At the end of the day,
yeah.
But
to be there. You chose
Marlon.
Go on.
I just want to come on. Yeah, I see Omala where you're coming from, but you need to understand it's like you're looking at it from a moral point of view. Morally, yes, of course, as a man from that country, whether you're from Ghana or Nigeria or Sudan or whatever, of course you have that national pride. But at the same time, you also need to look at it's like in an ideal world, not every man has the heart of a Muhammad Ali or of a Mike Tyson or of a Gandhi. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like,
but then why are you becoming arrogant?
You need to look at the way humans operate. The way humans operate is on a basic survival instinct. If you're living in a country like Palestine or wherever, or any sort of Burma, or where you see a man are being chopped up, heads differently, you tell me 9 times out of 10, any man's gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna be holding my country, rah rah. These men are gonna flee.
I can't respect. Let me tell you something, yeah.
Yes. In an ideal world, in an ideal world, every man should be like, yes, I'm gonna rep my country, but not every man is like that. That's in the understand.
Maybe I'm idealist then, but at the end of the day, everyone has to give you something.
Because listen, my side, I got family coming from Rwanda, and this is the time when they had the genocide, and I had people, family coming from there, coming to the UK. So for me, or someone to say, oh, you're a waste man, why are you gonna leave a country like that, bro?
No, not waste man. You know it is, bro. I didn't say everyone. I said, no, obviously you have certain men, you have women, you have children. There's obviously different categories of people, but what I categorically said is men who are able-bodied, and they have absolutely no reason to leave. Then, so that's one aspect. Then they leave. Then they become arrogant. And they puff out their chest with pride. Listen, if you're a young man and you come over, you put your head down, you do your thing, and you're just easy, then I've got no gripe with that. But it's when you become arrogant. It's like, bruv, to me, arrogance is one of the most hated things to me, bruv. I hate it, bruv. You know what I'm saying? So when you come with that arrogant nature, that arrogant spirit, and you're saying, and you're puffing your chest out, and you're looking down on people. I'm from here. Look at me. But yet you left. It's like, no, bruv.
But again, I see you coming from. But again, there's also a difference between being arrogant and just being proud of your nation. You know what I mean?
I know the difference between arrogance and pride, because pride is when you take on those certain attributes and you build and add on to them, and you're proud of it and you share it. Arrogance is when you take what you have or what you didn't even build and then you tread on others with that. You know what I mean? So there's a total difference. So if someone comes to me and goes, for your country, or I'm from Tanzania or from Nigeria, and they're proud, good. Because when I'm with my Nigerian friends and they're speaking Nigerian, bruv, I'm jealous. I wish I had my original language to talk. I wish. I love being around my Ghanaian friends and my Nigerian friends and my Somali friends. I love it. Yeah, I mean, and when they tell me things about their country, I love it. I say, yes, be proud of your country. But then when that turns into, look at you people, we are this, our tribe is this, we are this, that, it's like, no. Yeah, I mean, it's like, why are you like that when you left such and such a place in this state? Don't step to me like that, bro.
But again, I see where it comes from. But again, just to comment on the whole tribalist thing, I think I think King Richez might have mentioned it in the last episode about talking about Brixton and Hackney and all that. It's like how you have Jamaicans and Nigerians. But again, it's also that thing. It's like, if you're Nigerian or whatever, it's like people set up Jamaicans as all of them, they all smoke weed, they all smoke ganja, they do nothing live, and vice versa. It's also about like the way you raised is all having that stereotype put in your mind.
Yeah. All right, let me do this real quick, guys. Awesome show. 109 people watching. Do me a favor, man. I got my man King Richez on the show. I actually created a playlist for the Bruv-cast is what we call it now. So we have 4 episodes. You guys can look on my playlist and get all 4 shows for the Brothers in the United Kingdom. They come over and take over every Saturday, and they're gonna be doing some great things. Shout out to One Mark DC. So thank you for listening. Get the likes up on the video. Appreciate you. Let me kind of do this real quick, right? Because I know I've alluded to this before, but let me kind of start off with Senator. This time I'm gonna start off with sports and philosophy.
Yeah.
In the USA, okay, the USA, black Americans, there are other different. You have African Americans, we are the dominant group, and then you have like other blacks, like they may be like black Dominicans or black Puerto Ricans or black Caribbeans, or then you have like your African groups. These are small parts of the black population, which most African Americans really kind of ignore to a certain degree because it's so many of us that we don't really come in contact. I don't think. I think a lot of these immigrant blacks tend to do, in most cases, better. Not the Dominican ones, but you're kind of like maybe your Caribbean blacks or some of your African blacks. They tend to, except for living in Florida. Them Haitians in Florida, I don't know what the fuck wrong with them, but they tend not to be so intermixed. I can say that really as far as Africans. One thing you will always hear when it comes to like Jamaican women or African women or something like that, or even like Dominican women, when it comes to dating black men, don't bring me home an African American. In fact, there's a girl from Kenya who is like 19. Her parents are African immigrants. They're like Kenyan diplomats, and she said she could date anybody, doesn't matter white, but if she dates an African American, there's an issue with that. Let's talk about that in as far as in Britain. Like if you're a Caribbean, you're a Nigerian, or you're like a Tanzanian, have girls ever told you like my parents are gonna have a hard time dating you because you're Jamaican or you're a Nigerian or you're a Tanzanian? Does this thing happen like it does in Black America as it would in Britain? And also, is there a class component? Like, if you're a Tanzanian guy, do you have to have like a certain level of education to date a certain, black chick? Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah. That's a very good question. I don't know about for the other brothers, but for me, what I believe is like, it's predominantly South Asian culture. So you have like a lot of people from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, but there's also a predominant Somalian culture as well. So, for example, I would say more or less with Somali people, is you can kind of get away with it because obviously the whole East Africa connection of because even in Somalia, some parts of Somalia, it's Swahili, Somalia, Kenya. So with them, it's like it's okay. But I think with more or less people from South Asia, it's more like no, it's like taboo unless you kind of meet that stereotype of, are you a doctor, are you a lawyer, or what you're doing? Because I think with South Asian people, they have the perception of all black people that they're out and about doing a madness, doing drugs, whatever. So I would say with South Asians, it's more stereotypes, whereas blacks is more like, or with Somalis, it's more, you have a better chance, let's just say, than with South Asian people.
Okay. Let's go to King Richez.
Yeah, so fucking 100%, bro. Like, when I was before I went to America, like when I was younger, it was a thing. Like, do you know what I mean? I grew up predominantly around Caribbeans, like Jamaicans, like, you know what I mean? And being a lot of time being the only African in the group, you know what I mean? Even though we all sound the same, we all look the same more or less. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a thing. You know what I mean? And I already mentioned it. Like, there are some girls that we're not even talking about their parents. We're talking about them in their social circles. At that time, it would be a thing that, like, where do you come from? Do you know what I mean? Oh, if you're not a Caribbean, then no. I don't wanna be dating no Af. Do you know what I mean? Right. And that was a thing. That was a big thing going on. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, even on the African side, a lot of our parents, because I think African girls I don't want to say that, yeah, they was open to dating Caribbeans 100%. I'm sure they wasn't, but I don't really know that side of it. But I know that, like, a lot of African parents had their prejudices as well, and they kind of try to put those or put those prejudices into the minds of their children, that, oh, you know, them jamos, all they want to do is smoke weed, and, you know, all they want to do is have fun, and they're not you know, into education and stuff like that. They wouldn't necessarily say, I don't want you to date a Caribbean girl or something like that, but they will try and put those stereotypes into your head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a thing growing up, like, you know what I mean? But I mean, I got a lot of different, you know, Caribbean girls, like, but obviously, you know, I'm Black British, innit? So, so obviously I could blend in it, like, you know what I mean? I don't have no hard Nigerian accent. You know what I mean? A lot of people, when they see me, they can't necessarily tell where I'm from, like, you know what I mean? And I even had that in America. You know, I'd go, oh yeah, I thought you was one of us, until you started speaking. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a thing of, like, you know, the whole tribalism. It can get out of hand. But as I said, I think nowadays it's really been diluted. Like, the whole kind of prejudice against, oh, you're African, you're Jamaican, it's still there, but it's watering down gradually, more and more. You know what I mean? As everyone's kind of becoming more integrated together. And if we're talking about, you know, we're talking about girls outside our race, as in non-black, bruh, I just don't believe it, bruh. I don't believe these families, these people's dads want their daughters to be mixing with black boys. I just don't believe it. Even if they smile up in your face, I don't believe it. Because, you know, my ex-girlfriend, who was white, blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, all of that shit, like, she would tell me, oh yeah, my parents, you know, they don't care about that. They don't care about that. Once that girl broke up, she was telling me how her dad was on her case saying that, oh, she needs to lose weight. So if she loses weight, then white boys are going to be interested in that.
Wow.
This is the same dude that she was saying, oh no, he's not like that. Bro, they all, bro, everyone's racist to a certain degree. Everyone's prejudiced to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
I could put in my 2 cents about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like what King Richez was saying about people putting in certain stereotypes into your head. Oh boy. I remember once where it's like, well, let's say one of my relatives, because I don't want to hot that person up here, but basically they were saying, oh, don't deal with this African because he may be a scam artist, or blah blah blah. Basically, these stupid negative stereotypes around African men, and, you know, they're saying, oh, this African man wants a fat white woman, or this African man wants basically an African man saying, you know, don't deal with him for X reason. And I'm like, why? Because you had a bad experience with one African man, all of a sudden you put him in a box, and then you say he's this and he's that, and then you put all the Africans in a box, right? Because I've seen this many times, and then they say, no, I don't want to date. Because I'll be real with you, Oshay, right? There was a time where I've only been in a relationship with one black girl. Everyone else has been from a different part of the world, all right? And it's not because I don't like black women or things like that. There was a time where I didn't, because of a certain situation that happened in my life, right? And basically, when it comes, like, the black on black dynamic, in terms of a black person coming from a different, let's say, area of the world, for example, like black Caribbean, black African, it's not as bad as, say, a black person dealing with non-white person. For example, there was a time when I was dealing with this Muslim woman, right? And the crazy thing is because she came over from overseas to come here, her dad, I think it was from the AUE or the UAE or something, said, if you ever come down if you ever come down to the AUE with my daughter, I'll shoot you. So, you know, for real, right? Crazy things like that. And it wasn't even a serious thing, right? And then there was another time when there was like this, and this is, imagine this is a girl, right? This is a girl who was born here.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was Pakistani, right? And it's like, at first she just liked the thrill of being with a black person, right? And then all of a sudden, when things started getting more serious and more serious, right? All of a sudden, she started making excuses, saying, "Oh, you know, I hang around with a gang of boys and blah blah blah, and they're predominantly Indian." And I'm like, "Okay, what's that got to do with me? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to portray?" So, what tends to happen is not just the media; it's also the other people as well, like the people from non-cultures, because what they see on the television, they think what black man is. So what happens is, because now they got that image of their head, they've got this image of what a black person is and all the negative stereotypes of a black man. What they start thinking, if I date a black man, that's what the black man gonna be. So that's why, like, we get denied of certain choices of certain women from different places overseas because of the negative connotations that's being portrayed by the media, and also what is being said about us from other people's mouths. It's not necessarily to do with us being black, because what I noticed is my brother, let me just not say my brother, let me say a relative went over to Philippines. All right, went over to Philippines to acquire a certain spice, if you know what I mean. So basically, what happened is, because he's tall, he's 6'5", he's 6'6", he went to the Philippines. All of a sudden, all these Filipino people start rushing around him, thinking that this person is a basketball player. All right, you start seeing basketball, and you know it's funny. And then you see all these men with M16s coming in, taking autograph from my brother, and they think he's in the NBA, and he's just an ordinary person who works as a security guard in London. He's being treated like royalty. I'm telling you, like royalty. He was getting watches coming to him. Everything was coming to him. So, and I just want to add to what Senator True was saying, is like, because you just made a very good point. It's like, if you're black in those countries, like in the Middle East or in the Far East, it depends on status. Because I was saying to one of my guys at work with, I was reading Mike Tyson's autobiography, what's it called? Mike Tyson Undisputed Truth. He was talking about when he went to Saudi Arabia, like the way he was treated, innit? Basically, he was saying that because I think because he went to do what do you call it? You know, he went to do the Umrah in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And he was talking about basically, you know, he was trying to get closer to the Kaaba, right? And then people they pushing him towards it. And in his book, he's talking about how bad he felt because of all the stuff that he done in his life. And it's just like, but because I'm Mike Tyson and I'm black and famous, people, they give him that status, you know what I mean? But if Mike Tyson, if you're just a normal black guy, it's just like, whatever, you're a foreigner, you know what I mean? But if you're black and you got status, it's like, I think there was an article about Jay-Z, something like that, like, apparently, like, if you get to a certain level of wealth, you're not black, you're rich, you know what I mean? So, it's all about status.
Yeah, it happens a lot still in this country, you know. Like, for example, I married an African.
Yeah.
My oldest sister married an African. She's married to a Nigerian. But my oldest sister, she married a white man. And my youngest sister goes out with a Greek guy. Now, who do you think got the most praise and who do you think got the most cusses? Me and my sister. We were told that, you know, oh, my sister came, she goes, yeah, like me and this guy's serious now, we're gonna get married. My mum was like, why are you marrying these people? They're no good. They're going to leave you. You know, they don't like us type of women. I mean, I was thinking, like, you can't say that about the guy. The guy's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? When it came to me, she was like, oh, these Somalians, they're like this. They like war. They want to fight all the time. That's what. Yeah, it's horrible. But then when it came to my older sister and she had the children, oh, you know, look at her hair. Oh, she looks like our grandmother, and oh, she looks like my mum. And you know, it was praise, and you know, like 10 million pictures on Facebook, and you know what I'm saying? It's like damn, and you know, the you know, this is a disease, bruv. Even when the guy came to our house, yeah, and my mum met him for the first time, like before they got married. My mum was like, oh, you know, yeah, you know, did you know my mum has got like some mix in her, and oh, did you know that, you know, that
allow
my
it.
family are like this, and you know,
Do you know what? Do you know what, fam?
Bro?
Do you know what, fam? This is what I was just thinking when you were saying that, yeah, because like my older sister, she got with a white man too, bro.
Yeah.
And my mum had no problem with that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What I realize, what I'm thinking, yeah, is that the fact of like when it comes to, you know, the tribalism, yeah, it's very strong when it's within black cultures, yeah. Like, but when it especially with white people, yeah, it's usually a factor of like, I think is this: if your dad is in the home, your dad will be more inclined to be like, nah, don't. You know what I mean? More on that kind of prejudice shit.
Yeah.
But with if it's just your mum will be open to mixing more with white people. That's what I think.
Yeah, I could add something to that.
Definitely.
That's very true, man. What King Richez just said, that is very, very true. Because I think also the thing is also like just the way mothers are, they're kind of very accommodating to the son, so they kind of, if that's what he wants, they'll just go for it. Where fathers a bit more scrutinized.
Nah, but listen. But the catch is, I know this with my mom. If it's a thing where her son is going with a white girl, then she'll have more of a resistance to it.
For real.
Yeah.
If it's with a white dude, then that's okay. Oh, that's fine. That's great.
Should I add why I have a theory about that? And it's backed by science why that's the case, King Richez, right? Is this, you can even look this up on Wikipedia, right? All you got to do is type in physical attractiveness, or I think it's sexual attractiveness, right? And you know, it's regarding this. I think, right? Generally think because black parents, or no, let's say a black mother is more keen to say their daughters to go with like a white person or a non-black person, is because one, you forget one thing is about the hypergamy. All right, even though they're hypergamous for themselves, they're also hypergamous for their daughters. All right, so that's why arranged marriages in certain cultures work, right? Not all the time. So there's actually a scientific survey that was done like years ago, right? And they basically got people of different, literally skin color, all right? Forget where they come from, right? Skin color. So they got like an Asian, let's just say they got a yellow person, sorry Asians, all right? They got a black dark person, they got a light skin type of racially ambiguous person, and these are men I'm talking about, and then they got a white person, all right? And they didn't reveal where they came from. It was all dependent on the color of their skin. And they got, I think it was a black woman and basically an Asian woman and a Caucasian person, all right? And they all asked these three women, right? What is it about which color you're attracted to? Basically why you're attracted to them. All right, and this is what they said, and this is what is alarming. It's actually on I know it's on Wikipedia because this is where I got the survey from. It was a similar survey. They said the lighter the skin they had, the more it represented in their minds of more wealth.
Let me go ahead.
Real talk, scientific. So basically, yeah, because this is just what women were thinking. This was just women. It's all a large sample pool, right? So what they're saying is, why? Because a woman, for example, your black daughter goes off with a non-white person, right? Because they see subconsciously in their mind as black people as poor, all right? Now, not saying this is true, but now say they come with a non-white person or a white or a Caucasian white, pale white person, they will see that as wealth. So when they see that with the skin color and what they see, and they see what basically going on in history, is what happens is their hypergamous instincts kicked in, and they think, okay, if my black daughter goes with this white person, she has a better case of survival and basically a higher chance of requiring resources.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Now say you switch it around, because I saw this on BBC, right? With a non-white black man, all right? I think it was a non-white black man, is basically a black man, right? Who was being given to, say, a white woman, a black woman, an Asian yellow woman, and what was it? Another color I forgot, right? And then that guy picked the black woman. So in a way, and because what they said was the skin color was for the man, it was more to do with the sense of virility and beauty, right? So he actually went for the black woman. So when he comes to two sectors are looking at two different things, and that is what depends, even in the culture or the cultures they're dealing with, what depends on sometimes the choice of man they want or woman they want. Do you catch what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but after all that science, a poor white man comes and they'll pick him over with a black guy still, bro.
Yeah, I know, but that's
hold on one second, guys. Make your point, because I got a shout out a super chat, so I want to make sure that I can do that real quick. Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, let me shout out to brother VEJ48. I don't want to forget him. 12 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much, man. We got a really good discussion, guys. Do me a favor. 127 people, 61 likes, 5 dislikes. We in here rocking with the United Kingdom, guys. 39 likes will get us to 100. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all feeling this podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? So get the likes up, man. 39 brothers, just go there and like the video. Get them likes up. Jesus paid it all on the cross. And before we get back to the, I think Marlon, I'm gonna just say this real quick, right? I think Black America is different in the case. Not really so much with the women, but still there's some hostility there. If a black guy in America gets a white woman, or even black women get white men, there is still a great deal of hostility towards them. In Black America, to marry white, it almost instantly, male or female, it instantly puts you out of the community. Even though we don't have much of a community, but it's a one-way ticket out if you marry out of the race. I think that's a little bit different from like Africans. Like if a black guy marries a white guy, a black guy marries a white woman, you know, it's celebrated, or vice versa. If you do that in Black America, you're done. It's an unspoken code. Black woman marries a white man, done. Black guy marries a white lady, done. That's it. Nobody cares about what you have to say about anything. Nobody takes you serious about anything. And that's just, it's pretty much a one-way ticket to hell. I mean, that's just really what it is. So I wanted to weigh in on that. But anybody got any thoughts on that?
That Marlon was going to say something.
Yeah, go ahead, Marlon.
No. In regards to this point, I think in regards to black people, I'm not too sure about African Americans, but I think in regards to just black people generally, is if you go and marry a white woman, or if you marry a white man, I think there will be a group who are upset with you because they maybe just hate white culture, or they're very, they have strong love for their own culture. Yeah. But then there'll also be a group who will hate on you because they want to do it themselves, but they can't do it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So when they see that black man with that fine white woman with that small waist, and you know what I'm saying, it's like, oh shit, like I want to hit one of these chicks up, but I can only get one of the hood white chicks. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It may be subconscious. Sometimes it could be conscious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of black people wear cloaks, and masks, and if they felt free enough, and if they had the ability, you'll see more of them move into white people than what you see now.
Yeah, that's true though.
Very, very true.
And that's especially true. That's especially true. Like, not to be one of them guys bashing women, but mostly women will do that.
Yeah.
I believe mostly women that will want to jump the fence, bro. Because a lot of times bruh, a lot of women can't jump the fence. They're not they're not attractive enough to jump the fence.
They
So
can't.
I love my brothers. I love my dark chocolate. Bro, you ain't got no choice, blood.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, because you ain't got no other option, blood. So then they get over extra pro-black and colorism bro, like, you ain't got no choice, blood. Me personally, I just got out of a relationship with a white girl, and to be honest, I don't really want to be in another relationship with a white. I want a black chick, if anything. Now, I don't know if she'll be from England, or I very much doubt she'll be from America. Not to be funny,
Get yourself African, man.
But yeah, like that's what I'm leaning towards. But it's not like I can't. Do you know what I mean? And in general, I feel like men have more black men, no matter where you're from, have more opportunity to go out there than the women do, because that's just the way it is. The standard of beauty is not for females is not black women. The black women are not the image of femininity. It's white women. But for men, the superior image of masculinity is black men. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's where the parallels, you know, that's where they have the differences and shit.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know how Marlon was saying that if, like, you know, when I was making that point, and then you said if a broke white man came along, right? Yeah, you're pretty much like spot on. But you know what I was talking about? I was talking about not them actually having the resources. It was actually like the color of their skin represents wealth. It's not that they had wealth. You get what I'm saying? What you were saying was exactly spot on. Like, exactly what you were saying was spot on. But that's really what the study shows, and it really does show with the black women in regards of when they have the possibility to do that. But what was I was going to say now? It was something that King Richez was saying. I can't remember.
It was about
go on.
Was it about when you were saying that how as black men we have more options because we kind of than black women? Is that what you're trying to get onto?
I think so. I completely lost, but yeah, you can move on. I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, but you know, I say, go on. Sorry, you go, bro. Go first.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what King Richez was saying about like having more options, because I think it's like a lot of the times it kind of those sort of women can kind of view black men as like being exotic. So like, you know, for example, like athletes like your LeBron James and your footballers and your basketball players, kind of view them as, oh, that's something like to aspire to have. So I think that's why we kind of have that opportunity, if that makes sense.
I think it comes down to just the way black men make them feel. I just think they're more dominant in the way they move, the way they talk, their aggressiveness, their forwardness.
Yeah.
It appeals to them. It just makes them feel a certain way. So
they're more likely
to, you know, flirt with that. But you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong though. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all non-black women love black, and I'm not one of those delusional guys.
No, of course. But generally, bruv, I see you get yourself African women, bruv. Trust me, bro. I'm going Ethiopia in August, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, my boy got married to Eritrean girl. Like, he's happy as fuck, man.
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. It's, you know what I mean, I don't want to put no girls down over here, but boy, trust me, bro. It has to be done, bro.
If they're traveling overseas, go on.
No, I don't have to go there to get one. I'm not saying.
I'm just saying it's like this. Like a lot of melanated women in the Western world are totally brainwashed, bro. So, like, it's an uphill battle with majority of girls that are born, raised in this social engineering, bro. The uphill battle, bro. It's like you have to try and program them, and who's got time to do all of that?
Oh yeah,
let me
shit going on.
Quick on that deprogramming part, and this is what I found out with African American women in my short instances with dealing with women in Africa. I'm talking about women that are from Africa or Black American women. You can be a black man that, and if you, And I'm not trying to brag, whatever, but you know, but me, I'm formally educated from a California State University. I'm a year away from with a medical doctor degree. You know, I have this channel, right? So I have, you know, I ain't got much money as a senator. Truth, you know what I'm saying? I got a few pences. I don't have no pounds, player. A few pences, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I think the thing about it is the issue I have with a lot of women in African American, is they have this social programming, like King Rich was talking about, is like a black man cannot take care of me. He cannot provide for me. And it makes them think like, and I was trying to wonder, like, well, if you're going to deal with a black guy, would they prefer like dealing with a Nigerian or a Caribbean or a black Tanzanian? I think when it comes to even all of them, African American, I think an African or black woman, they look at a black person and the black man and thinks, this guy has no ability to take care of me. It doesn't matter where he's from, how much money he has. She's gonna have that social programming as if no matter what you do for her, it's the least. Like, for example, I was out with some African chicks in Poland last week. And from those of you guys like what's a Blackest Night, I don't put everything up. I had it updated on my WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The way that those African and you know, I like treated, it was like not too much, but I was like, I took like a bunch of Africans out and it was not that much. It's like $60, $70, something like that. In the way that I was another African dude there, in the way that they talk to like black dudes, they just have it programmed. And they're talking about how when they date white dudes or go out with white dudes, it's a total different conversation. Like you could take African chicks out and you could take pay for the whole bill. I'm not saying this happened to me per se, but what I've noticed is this. What's your WhatsApp, Oshay? Nigga, you ain't gonna hold on, stop the show. What's your WhatsApp? Nigga, I'm not giving it to you. Who the fuck are you? What's your WhatsApp? Nigga, let me go ahead and time you off for even asking me that. Nigga, please. You'll never get my number, nigga. Fuck wrong with you talking about what's your WhatsApp? Get your motherfucking ass out of here. All right. And anybody else asks that dumbass shit, time their ass out, moderators. Cause motherfucker asking for my goddamn phone number. Okay. It's just like if they were to go out with a white guy or a Polish dude, they would not be like, nigga, please, nigga, what? All that shit. They don't do that type of shit with white dudes, man. And so I think the social program in all black women is no matter what I'm seeing that this dude has, no matter how hardworking he is, no matter what, he is not the same man as a white man.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. And no matter what you do for these motherfuckers, unless you're talking about like moral and you going to Rich or Ethiopia or something like that. I just don't feel that they understand that. Anybody got something to say about that?
Well, it's come up in it.
Especially when it comes to approaching females as well, because I think it was 2 days ago, I was coming out the train station in it, and there was this painting. She was like, lightest in it. I was gonna go holler, and like even from her face, she just had the attitude like, rah, don't, because you could see from her body language.
I know you talking about
approach. But I was just like, her face was saying like, listen, don't approach me, don't holler at me. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like raw. So it's like you can't even approach them because they already have that mindset of you're a bum, you're not a trapper, you're not out here making money moves. You get me?
You're not driving the SLK, bruv, or the CLK. You know what I'm saying? Like automatically you're a bum. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
they don't even give you that initial chance to even make an impact. You know what I mean? But like I said, unless they see, oh, this guy's a baller or this guy's that, then they give you that shine, you know.
This is what I say that too. Like when you're a black dude, for you to attract, like you can get girls in it, but there's different fucking degrees. Nobody wants fucking bum bitches. Nobody wants ugly bitches, bro. No one wants a duck. Every fucking dude, well, most black dudes I know want a bad bitch. That's just how it goes, bro. Yeah, and the problem is when you're a black dude, if you're going for them bad bitches, you gotta be on a certain level. When these girls see you, they have to see it. Like, do you know what I mean? They because they don't think outside of that. They don't really care about your personality either.
Nah,
they care about what you can see, what is underneath their nose. And as I said, if you're pushing a CLK, if you're in a fucking Range Rover or whatever, then she's gonna be so cooperative. Even if you're busted. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
and another thing.
If you're one of them, you're pretty boy, light skin or white dude, then well, you know, let's just see how it goes. They'll give you a chance. Their whole demeanor, bro. I've seen these shit. I've seen it in real life, and I've seen it in them little, you know, YouTube videos where it shows you how the black chick acts with her white boyfriend and shit like. And I'm like, really? But I remember when I first saw that thing, I was like, is that how it really is, blood?
Yeah.
Let me just say this real quick.
And sorry.
And I'll come to these sports plus. But what I've noticed also is this: even if you are that dude that has the CLK and the money, see, we got to get it twixt. A lot of black women, they'll fuck your brains out. They can fuck your brains out without having no respect for your ass either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They can fuck your brains out, suck your dick, and call you a bunch of bitches and hoes, nigga. You ain't shit. Your mama ain't gonna be shit. They'll fuck your brains out. I mean, that's one thing that black women will, you know, they'll use you for your dick. They'll let you fuck. They'll let you get your screed on. But the thing about it is getting her to respect you. That's a whole other story, because I think all things being equal, a white dude with a backpack and some fucking Hariachi Mexican sandals on, she gonna have more respect for him than a black dude with a CLK Mercedes Benz. All things being equal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That don't mean she gonna submit to you though, because she not. I mean, go ahead, Sports and Boss.
Yeah. I just wanted to add to what you lot saying. I think another thing with black women is always like they don't have the patience. So, for example, you could approach them and say, look, listen, this is what I'm trying to get to. This is my goal. Listen, I know I'm not that baller now, but listen, this is what we're going to. We're going to the promised land. But they don't have that patience. You get me? They want the LV bags now. They want the Gucci now. And if you ain't got it now, then it's like on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Hypergamy.com.
Yeah.
Hypergamy.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And another thing, just to add on to what Oshay was saying about how just add on to about having that self-respect for the men. It's funny because where I work, I basically like do like customer service, and there was this white lady that came in with her man, and like she was the way she was talking to him was like disgusting, bro. Like no like having self-respect, you know what I mean? So it just also made me think it's all how like sometimes how black guys, they can let their women talk to them any type of way, and it's like men have lost that self-respect, you know what I mean? They lost that confidence, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's a lot to do with guys being afraid that their woman will leave them, bro. That's why they put up with that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they ain't got the abundance mindset. But you know, I'd like to add something in regards of, you know, when you're talking about the light skin, like if you're a light skinned pretty boy, right? I think I was King Richez was saying that, obviously man's now looking like a Tampa Bay Packer linesman, right? I got the body of that guy. But like when I was younger, like I'm not looking like Homer Simpson and all that shit. But when I was younger, like other chicks you would do consider me the pretty light skinned guy, right? When I was like in my teens and that. But I'll tell you this, right? If you're a light skinned brother, and you're looking on point, all I'm saying is black chick's gonna holler at you, white chick's gonna holler at you, right? But you're gonna have a sincere difficulty getting a black chick of the same complexion you have. Trust me on this. The amount of times, right? Even if I was, you know, having like, even if I was looking my best, and I weren't looking like a linebacker, basically, I would have to jump through so many hoops to get with that light skin chick. It's just unbelievable. Or it's basically, I don't date black guys. It's just one of them ones, or I only date white women, or I mean white men, or something like that. Because there's so many times where I've been told, that their parents told them, I shouldn't be dealing with a black man. But you're black. You're technically black yourself. So what the hell are you talking about? But that's what I noticed with. That's what I noticed with, especially if you're a light skinned brother and you're just like getting black women or white women is not a problem. But if it's a light skin or someone of your same complexion, it's gonna be difficult. It doesn't even matter where you at. I've seen this all the time. True. Even what's his face? I can't remember when. I think Ashley Banjo was talking about it, but he kept it on a. He kind of said it in a cryptic way, so there weren't no backlash from the British media, innit?
Yeah.
Look, like them mixed race biracial girls, if they're not, if they didn't grow up in the hood, they want a white boy, bruv.
You think so?
Yes. If they don't grow up, if they don't grow up with black people, they usually go off with white people, bruv. That's what I've seen.
Bro,
So hold on. What do you say?
know what I
In
mean?
the hood, they don't want black guys. You said, yeah.
No, I'm saying if they are in the hood, then yeah, black guys, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's outside of the hood, they're going off with white boys, bro.
I'll give you a perfect example. Just to add on to what Senator Truth was saying, and then I'll go back to King Richez. I think it's also a bit of it's also a clash of the egos, because you know how like on Instagram you see those memes of like light skinned people kind of like they're at the top of the food chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're a good looking light skinned guy and you have a good looking light skinned girl, it's clash of egos, isn't it? So it's like, bro, I'm better than you, so F you, you know what I mean? So it's that. And also to go back to what King Richez was saying about if you're a light skinned girl and you run up in hood, you're gonna go up to black guys, and if you're kind of well off, you got white guys. Perfect example, bro. I said this thing. Do you not watch Atlanta, the one with Childish Gambino?
Who? Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know his program called Atlanta. It comes on FX.
BBC Three.
Yeah, I've seen one episode of that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Do you know that painting in what's her name? She was in Deadpool too. So you know Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I said this thing. I wanted IG. You know how man's a white boy, you know? I swear for real. I was like, raw. It's like that and that. And when you see the guy, he looks like a normal white guy. He's bare skinny. He's got glasses, but he can still pull like beautiful black skin girls. You know what I'm trying to say?
This is like what I said last week. If you're a white dude, you can get a girl. I don't want to hear no shit. Oh, I can't get girls, man. You can't shit.
For real.
That's what I'm saying. And Zazie,
I don't care how that sounds. I don't believe it, blood. That means you're doing something fucked up, bro.
Exactly. Why do you think Game? Why do you think Game came from the hood? You know, we needed that extra.
I'm not saying women won't fuck them up. You know, saying that, but I'm saying if you're telling me, oh, I can't get no girls, bro, you're chatting shit, bro.
For real.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. And she's
don't get
painting as well. I'm like, raw, bro. Like I was showing one of my boys, innit? I was saying like, you know that thing of Atlanta has got white bushes, bro. Why you gassing, bro? She don't move like that. I showed him my IG. He was like, raw, it's like that now. I'm telling you, yeah, bro. Trust me, man. If you just got them glasses, that hips to look, that's it. You're winning. You get me?
Yeah, it's a come up in it. It's a trophy in a way for some people, bro.
Yeah.
And another,
but you know,
I
thought. I'm not sure. Tell me what you guys think here, but I thought the mixed race girls, who have a black father tend to go for black guys, but the mixed race girls who have a white father tend to go for white guys. That's what I thought the divide was.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah. Actually, I'll agree. Yeah.
That's a good point. Cause even that same chick I was talking about now, I was checking one of the interviews. Apparently, her mom's from Harlem, New York, and her dad's a white guy from Germany. So yeah, it makes sense, man.
Okay.
And let's be real. If the girl's dad is black, usually she grew up in the hood, bruv. Let's be real.
Yeah.
She usually grew up in the hood. So that just goes hand in hand with what man said before, innit?
Hand in hand in a way, yeah.
Exactly, bro.
All right, so let me do this, man. You know, it's almost 11. You brothers out here, man. I'm going to go head on and let me see what we got here. 127 Negroes liking the video. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you so much, niggas. You Negroes in the United States. I want to just, you know what I'm saying? It's the 4th week in a row that we've done this. Y'all know I got with a diarrhea treatment, man. Like, yes, y'all know what it was. I was like, God damn. It was just, I just got my house clean, nigga. I got on the toilet. I was like, oh my God, what happened to this? What's going on, Jesus? But so I wasn't going to even do it today, but I'm like, nah, you know, let me go ahead on it and keep it up, man. So, you know, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be talking. Next week we're going to have a really good topic. I want to thank all the brothers on the panel for showing up. I want to thank, you know, you guys for supporting the stream. Most people that listen to this are from America, according to the stats. So about like, you know, between 80 and 82% of the listeners to this particular show come from the United States. So it just goes to show that, you know, like a lot of black men from the USA, they are, you know, curious and interested in what you have to say about certain issues. Let me ask all of you, like, how do you like the, you know, this hangout that we've been doing? What's your thoughts about it?
I like it. I enjoy it.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, go on, Marlon.
No, I think it's good. You know, it brings people together, and also shows there can be dialogue without, you know, aggression, and, you know, we can have patience with each other, and, you know, obviously it's something that could grow, and, you know, if it grows enough, that's all you need for some sort of change. You know what I mean? And it might seem small, but that's all you need, bro. It's half a chance for anything big to happen. You know what I mean? You know, the biggest things that happen in the world started off like this, I suppose. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's definitely a vehicle for some type of change or for some type of improvement. So definitely, I think it's a good thing, and it, you know, needs to carry on and grow.
All right, cool. Was it King Richez? What did you just say?
Yeah, I think this shit's awesome. Get me? I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think that this obviously is small, but it's gonna grow in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everything has a beginning in it. Like, do you know what I mean? So obviously we just have to be consistent, and, you know, obviously I always shout out Oshay, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know what I mean, and actually, Senate of Truth, you know, putting out that initial video that got the wheels moving in it. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Trust me.
Yeah. I don't know if Senator Truth said something on it yet.
Said something on what?
Yeah, and actually, shout out to you, bro, because you were the one that I mean, I don't know if you knew what you were doing, but you were like, yeah, we don't even have a manosphere in the UK, but yeah, that's what sparked it, man. What do you? I mean, your indirect statement has led to 4 straight weeks of this. What do you think so far, bro?
I think it's good. Like really, nothing was meant to really come out of that video. Like, I was just really there. That was just someone who needed to say something, get something off my chest, and basically critique the black US, or let's say black manosphere, because I'm always going on YouTube and I'm seeing beef, or all I'm hearing is people talking about pussy and no value for black people. So it's like it pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie, it pissed me off to a point where I started unsubscribing from a whole bunch of black manosphere YouTube channels. So obviously I only stuck to like the people who supported me, and everyone else pretty much went under the bus, because it's just it's getting stupid when you look into things into a bigger perspective. There's a lot more serious things that we need to be talking about and what we need to be addressing, and then they're having beef over petty stuff when they're a little speck in the sand, when in terms of everything is relative. So when I did that video, what I did was I just commented. I literally sent comments to everyone, like literally everyone that I was watching, and just say, hey, look, this is what's up. One individual took it bad. Well, I wouldn't say took it badly. He basically said, why me? I did a response video to him. But it's like, I just said, look, like, I'm out here looking out the inside. I'm thinking we could become something a lot bigger than pussy and flipping beefs. You know, so that's why I said, look, like everyone here on the panel, I want to obviously give you an invitation to the Black Manosphere UK, and we all come together as UK Black Manosphere content creators and start networking and then growing as a group. Because the way I know this is possible is because we're all respectable to each other's opinions, and we know how to disagree respectively. Because when you go on the US side of things, all because of a difference of opinion, they're having back and forth.
Yeah,
you know,
I heard a certain show a few weeks ago, but I was like, damn, bro, you get me? But
you know what I'm saying? It's like
out in these streets, man.
You know, it's like that's the difference. What I noticed, and I've got we got 4 weeks of proof of this. So, you know, it's crazy. So
play in the background.
I'm hearing YouTube in the background.
Who the hell is that?
I think
Blackest.
Sorry, brothers. Yeah, this is the Blackest Night
is on. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me. Hold on 1 second.
Big ups to Oshay, the Duke of all the Jacksons. Oshay, the Duke of all the bitches.
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, I'm just getting in late. I had to see Portugal get knocked out of the games. I want to see them colonizers get their asses whooped.
Portugal got knocked out.
Yeah.
Was Ronaldo crying?
Portugal got knocked out, huh?
Was Ronaldo crying?
Well, I'm sure he'll be all right, man. He'll get some pussy tonight. You know how that goes.
Fam, it's mad, bro. Argentina got knocked out. Now you're telling me Portugal got knocked out.
Yeah, I was really happy when Argentina got knocked out.
Argentina were playing shit though. They only played good against Nigeria, the fucking cunts.
Bruv, you know I say, yeah, if England don't win it this year, bruv,
yeah,
they'll never win it. This is their chance, bro.
They got a good chance. This is the best chance they've ever had.
Exactly.
To be honest.
You know what I mean?
Germany, Argentina.
But let me do this real quick. Let me introduce Blackest Night real quick, man, because he's joining us. I might actually keep it going for about 10 more minutes if you guys want to do that. But let's introduce Blackest Night. Let everybody know where you from, where you living at now. Go ahead, player.
Yes, sir. Okay, all right. So here's the Blackest Night, the one and only. I'm actually I grew up in the UK. I'm Nigerian by just like King Richez, but I live in Atlanta. I've lived here for about gosh knows, man. Yeah, you know what? We're not even gonna go into how long I've lived here. Let's just say I've just lived here too long. All right. Yeah, man. But anyways, I do come back to the UK twice a year to come see family and all that, and I still have family in Nigeria as well.
All right. Let me ask you this. I know you're getting in a little late, but well, no. And beyond, I know you're a busy person. I've always asked him every week, did he want to, join the podcast stuff like that? He's always busy doing things. I understand. And Olu's not Olu, but Falcon Black MGTOW, he's always busy. But what I want to say is this. Do you think that there is like different factions of blacks in Britain? Like, I mean, I know you live in Atlanta, which is a heavily, identified African American city. What's different between the African American community and the British black community?
Well, the African American community, they're more monolithic only because they've got no choice. They're far removed from the African culture, the African ancestry, whereas the blacks in the UK, there are loads of subgroups and people identify with their subgroups because, there's still that connection to their places of origin, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Let me also just real quickly ask you, when you were in the UK, did you have problems dating other blacks of different ethnic groups?
Actually, not really, to be honest with you, man. Not really. Actually, it also depends on, like if you're Nigerian, this like quote unquote fresh off the boat, the mentality is a little bit different from those of us that grew up there. Like for instance, even though I was born in Nigeria, I was taken to the UK when I was 2. So, mentally, I'm a hybrid. You know what I mean? So, whereas I still have Nigerian roots, but at the same time, I'm would be considered very westernized. Even though I do still speak, Yoruba, but of course not as fluently as those who, like born and bred in Nigeria. However, I would say that, well, for me anyways, I never had a problem dating outside my race or outside my culture.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, man. And again, thanks, for stopping by. Anybody else got some things they want to say, man, or weigh in on?
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Because what it was, I was saying something, and then Green Lantern came out. Green Lantern came out of nowhere. I wasn't thinking about. No, it's not your bad. It's not your bad. Trust me.
Hey, Blackest Night.
Yo.
Yeah, so you basically, we've more or less got the same experience.
Cut from the same fabric. Yeah.
That is crazy. What did you go to college in America?
Yes, I did.
So you had the college experience as well.
I got the college experience. Yeah.
Did you play a sport?
Actually, nah. Well, I only played rugby, just like just recreationally. Yeah, played rugby recreationally. Joined a rugby club down here. played recreationally.
Okay, that's interesting. Man. I ain't met nobody else in that same
situation, right?
Yeah, that category. Like,
yeah,
I know with you, you probably like with me. I see things from all different angles. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, like if somebody's like saying shit, Nigerians are like this, Nigerian, then that's like, it's like obviously someone could say I'm British, but I have my heritage is Nigerian, so obviously I'm going to defend that. But then at the same time, I grew up with all Caribbeans. So if an African person was to say, "Oh, all Caribbeans are this, that, the other," then I would have a problem with that as well. Do you know what I mean? Then I have the African in the States as well, and it's not like I was there for 2 weeks. I was there for years. You know what I'm saying? So I have that dynamic as well. So, and now I live outside of London in predominantly a white environment. To now have the kind of, it's blacks against the world kind of dynamic now. You know what I'm saying? So it's mad, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, for me, I'm, I've got this mentality of black as one. When I say black as one, I identify with, my African American brethren, my brethren from the Caribbean, Afro Latinas, brothers and sisters from the UK. Black is one. That's just my motto right there. That's my mentality. That's basically what I follow. As a matter of fact, just like you, for instance, whenever I do find African Americans talking cat shit about Africans, I'm on the defense of Africans, and then on the flip side as well, I'm very quick to check Africans that talk cat shit about African Americans as well. Because at the end of the day, and especially the brothers, because I do believe that the black man is, I would consider the black man an endangered species around the world. We're just for some, we're just, how that goes. People see us, it's like, okay, arms ready to kill us, ready to do this, that, and the third. We're just an endangered species. And at the end of the day, we're all we've got. Huh?
Yep.
Exactly. We're easy targets.
Yeah, exactly. So me personally, I
was gonna say quickly that I agree with you. Like in my outlook of things is like we're all black and we're all looked at the same, so we might as well just like stop being so tribalistic. Even though that's just me being in an ideal world, but tribalism doesn't really help us because we're all divided.
No, it doesn't.
And the other non-black people they're tribalistic too, but it's different with them. Do you know what I mean? We're all disenfranchised and being tribalistic to each other. Right. Like that's gonna help us. It actually makes things a lot worse. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of like you. I think I'm kind of more in the thinking of black. We're all black. We're all under the same shit. So we might work together.
I do think things are changing though. I definitely do think things are changing for the better.
I think so too.
It would be a slow change. You would need something big to expedite that change, though. Like, for example, when you had Pan-Africanism, that was a response to colonialism and the stuff that was going on in Africa. Do you understand? Now you don't have that impetus. We need something big again, to shake up the whole black community. Whichever part of the world you're at. Do you understand? There has to be something big. But anyway,
exactly, man.
With that thing not being there, it's still coming about. There's no catalyst, but it's still coming about slowly. Do you understand?
Yeah. Now
you've got to wake up to cake up.
Right. Now I will say one thing, right? It's up to us individually to actually start, extending the olive branch. Like for instance, whenever you do see an African American or whoever that's just talking, I guess out of not knowing, about Africa and just talking some crap about Africa. Well, sometimes they genuinely just don't know. Like for instance, I bet you, for instance, before Oshay decided to take the trip across the ocean to Africa, I'm sure, his perspective of Africa changed once he got on African soil. He finds out that once he gets to Uganda, South Africa, whatever, that the Africans over there, they're very open arms towards African Americans. They're just open arms. Same thing like over here, for instance. I try to at least educate my African American brothers and sisters. Like, hey, look, here's what the media shows you about Africa. Well, here's what the real deal is. Have you, every now and then I'll grab a friend or two, some of these brothers over here. I'm like, hey, look, let's go to a Nigerian or Ghanaian restaurant. Let's go have some jollof rice or whatever. And then they eat the food, they listen to the music. They're like, wow, this shit is good. And I'm like, yeah, of course it is, man. You just have to be open-minded.
It's not all pot-belly babies with flies around their eyes.
Absolutely not. And you know what else? Let me tell you something grand that I did about, it was 3 years ago. So I threw my birthday party, and it was massive. There were about 100 people that showed up for this birthday party. They came from like all over, all over the States. Some people came from the UK, some came from Canada, some came all the way from Nigeria. It was 50-50. 50 Africans and 50 African Americans. I had I had Nigerian food, and I also had like soul food as well. Bro, look. Let me tell you something. The African Americans came over. They had a marvelous time, man. And when I tell you that they left the soul food to tear up the Nigerian food, they've never had Nigerian food before, and they were like, "Shit, this shit is good." They're like, "This shit is good. Your friends are so cool." Many of them were telling me that, I thought Africans were stuck up. I thought Africans didn't like us. Man, they hung out. Everybody, if you walked into that party that night, you would even, you know what? You didn't meet a single stranger, man. Everybody had a great time, and everybody left. Until this day, people are begging me to throw another party like that because they call that the party of the century. Till this day. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was able to bring Africans and African Americans together, and everybody had a glorious fucking time, man. So it's all about, sometimes you have to just hear them out, and then just bridge that gap, extend the olive branch, talk to them, and then you'll find out that, hey, look, some of that, I guess hatred or perceived hatred or whatever you want to call it, it's actually, it's many a times it comes from a place of just not knowing. It really is. Ignorance, man. Plain old ignorance,
Definitely.
Okay.
I personally, I agree with all of that. And I'm saying, obviously I'm in my non-black area, so now I'm just black people against the world. But so I really believe that there is a conspiracy to keep all of us tribalistic and divided.
True.
So that's why, a lot of times people, like you were saying that, a lot of times, because I experienced it when I was there in America, a lot of people, they just don't know, innit? You know what I mean? But they know everything. They know so much about, all these other cultures,
right?
But they don't know about this specific huge continent. Right. You know what I mean? Who a lot of people was calling a country when it's a continent. You know what I mean? Basic, you know what I mean? But so what did they teach you in school?
Well, black people generally love to attach themselves to other cultures. It's either where American Indians, or where we've got some European in us, or we've got some bloody
that shit always used to get on my nerves.
We've got some Indian in us, or we're East Africans, therefore we're Arabs. But you never have anyone saying we are Africans, we are like pure black. Yeah,
because that's going back to
West Africans.
Yeah,
because no one says that, bruv. No one reps that. And then you got a few people. They will say, oh, you know what? We're African, we're Pan-African, or we're Hotep, or whatever. But that usually lasts a few years, and then they jump onto something else.
Because they're motherfucking Egyptian and shit.
Yeah, bro.
Motherfucker, you couldn't all be Egyptian, bro.
I'm no Egyptian, bro. Trust me, I'm
not fucking Egyptian, bro. You know what I mean? This is why I can't fuck with that shit. So they bypassed fucking West Africa to go to Egypt to bring all of you over to America. All right, cool.
Nah, bruv.
All right, hold on. Let's make a point. I mean, because it's like 11. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this thing down, players. Y'all know I got. Y'all know I'm old and shit, nigga. So I can make this shit quick.
Anyway,
y'all long-winded like the Americans, man. That's what they get. Niggas from Britain, niggas from the USA. You niggas love to talk. Y'all long-winded too.
It's in our DNA, man.
You gotta wrap it up, nigga.
But we started kind of anyway. So
No. It's all niggas. We all like to talk, man. It's a long-winded season, man, going on this thing. Shout out to Edward Anderson. Nobody more long-winded than him. Yeah, but I will let it go a little bit longer. But shit, I gotta study for this exam I got on Sunday. And,
I gotta go too.
So, anyways, man, I thank everybody for showing up, man. Any last words within 60 seconds? I'll let you know. Last words, anybody?
Yeah, I'll have some last words.
Go ahead.
The thing I forgot to say now, I actually remembered now, is when what, like they say, the white woman is let's say the image of femininity, and the black man is the image of masculinity. The way you know this is true is you just got to look at who is the most copied. All right, most women potentially copied the white woman, and most men tend to be copying the black man. The black man's the most copied man on the earth, and that's just that. That's just what I want to put out there.
Yeah, my last words is just very, very quickly. There's a story of 4 bulls. I'm just paraphrasing. I think 3 of them were black, 1 of them was white. A wolf came along, and he said, let me get access to the bulls. So the white one said, yeah, take that one. And anyway, each subsequent bull was eaten. Then when it was the last bull said to himself, I was dead the minute I let him eat the first bull. Yeah, I mean, that is to us black people. Yeah, I mean, so love each other, man. Mingle, mix and blend, and get to know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Go ahead, sports philosophy.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, thanks for the opportunity just to be on a panel and just to hear everyone's views. And yeah, because watching it from last week, just seeing everyone like King Richez and Marlon and kind of just have the views kind of sparked up the mind a bit. So yeah, it's just good to have a platform, especially for black British men as well. So I think it's quite good, man. I'm happy with it.
All right, cool. Black as Night. Go ahead and hit him with something, player, before we get up out of here. Pimpin'.
Yeah, yes, sir. Oshay, the Duke of all the bitches. Yeah. So all I can say is black is one. Always remember that black is one. Remember that here in the States, whenever basically. Okay, white folks here in the States, they will support their European brothers before your black ass, even though your black ass is America. Trust me. So just always bear that in mind, that black is one. We are an endangered species. Well, we've got, stop all this misunderstanding, reach out to an African and vice versa. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn and also how much you can benefit from each other as well.
All right, cool. And I think is it Marlon? Or I don't know if he.
What's that?
Did you have anything? Did you want to say anything, Marlon?
Oh yeah, I said the story about the bulls.
Oh, that's right. Damn, my bad. King Richez, anything you want to say, player?
Wakanda forever.
All right, man. So we gonna come back. The next show. Anybody who wants, like I said, see these episodes. Shout out to Black as Night. He started calling it the Bruvcast. I was like, yeah, that's what this probably is. So it's our 4th one in a row, man. It's very interesting hearing, you guys have a lot of the same issues that we have as African Americans, in America. It seems like no wonder why the British black dudes and the American black dudes kind of coalesce, So shout out to all the people that support that from Britain. I'm getting a lot of people that's been trying to hit me up
Oshay, quickly, one quick thing. Shout out to LAR Movement. He sent me a video, and the video was basically along the lines of this topic, and it was a video where it had a Ghanaian...
apologizing for the slave trade.
Yeah. And they apologized for the slave trade to African Americans, so big up LAR Movement, because that was sick.
Yeah, I would have did the show on that one, but I saw the Google Hangout chat. He's like, you want to wait until you be able to go live on your page. So
yeah. I'm gonna go live with him and talk about that shit, man.
Okay, cool. So again, shout out to LAR Movement. You know what I'm saying? He's like a big time content creator. He might not be super famous, man, but he's a genius, man, when it comes to creating content. I don't think it's a guy that's better than him. Just maybe like Ron Wheels or something like that, but. Those two best content creators on this side. So guys, thank you so much for coming on over and wanting to support. Thank you, brothers, for listening in. I've noticed these podcasts with the British brothers have a longer duration than even, you know, like the podcast we have with Americans every night. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.